Hi there. Welcome back. Been a busy day. Today's word is somewhat supportive in a way that you might not expect. We'll talk about some historical events pertinent to the United States, with my apologies to the rest of the world. We have a birthday and a song and a quote, and the quote has to do with today's word. Alrighty, where's my cuppa? Grab your favorite cuppa. Sit back and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for March 4th. March 4th is the 63rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 64th if it happens to be a leap year, with 302 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is pedestal. Pedestal is usually a noun, but can occasionally be used as a verb. As a noun, a pedestal is basically something upon which another thing stands. For example, a support or base for a statue, column, or other structure, as in, the marble statue stood on an ornate pedestal in the museum's main hall. A pedestal might also be a position of high regard, admiration, or importance, as in, his fans placed him on a pedestal, often overlooking his flaws. A pedestal might also be the base of an upright structure or piece of furniture, as in, the antique table had a beautifully carved pedestal supporting its surface. As a verb, pedestal means to place on or furnished with a pedestal, as in, the pride of the collection stands pedestaled in an alcove, or to elevate in position, as in, he wished not to be pedestaled, but to sink into the crowd. The word pedestal comes to us through French, Italian before that, originally from Latin, where it was combined from words that meant foot and stall or place or seat, meaning a thing upon which things are placed. First known use of the word pedestal is in the 1560s. Pedestal. And with that, on March 4th, 1493, the explorer Christopher Columbus arrived back in Lisbon, Portugal, aboard his ship Nina, from the voyage to what are now the Bahamas and other islands of the Caribbean. On March 4th, 1681, Charles II granted a land charter to William Penn for the area that would later become Pennsylvania. Government under the U.S. Constitution began on March 4th, 1789, in New York City, when the first Congress of the United States met to put the United States Constitution into effect. The 11th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was passed by the United States Congress on March 4th, 1794. The 11th Amendment is the one that restricts the ability of individuals to bring suit against states in federal court. Franklin D. Roosevelt was inaugurated as 32nd President of the United States on March 4th, 1933, the last president to be inaugurated in March. Since then, inaugurations have taken place in January. This is the birthday of American singer, songwriter, and guitarist Bobby Womack, born March 4th, 1944, in Cleveland, Ohio, in the United States. He got his start in music as the lead singer in his family group, the Valentinos, and as a backing guitarist for Sam Cooke. Womack's songwriting prowess led to the Rolling Stones' first UK #1 hit with their cover of his song, It's All Over Now. He's released dozens of records in his more than 6 decades in the business, encompassing genres such as R&B, soul, gospel, rock and roll. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. As so many others have, he struggled with issues around chemical dependency, went into rehab in the 1980s, and got clean and sober. Later on, he developed several health issues such as diabetes, a couple different kinds of cancer, and a bout of pneumonia. In the last years of his life, he began to show signs of dementia, but he kept working as long as he could, which is admirable. Bobby Womack passed in 2014 at the age of 70, leaving behind quite a legacy of his work, both as a songwriter and as a performer. Bobby Womack. So, of course, I wanted to talk about a song by Bobby Womack. And it was hard to choose just one. There are so many. But I did, and it's the instrumental Breezin'. I was familiar with the 1976 version released by George Benson, but the first release of Breezin' was a 1971 version by Hungarian jazz guitarist Gabor Szabo. Both of those versions are lovely, and in addition to them, Breezin' has been covered by several other artists. I even found one where George Benson and Carlos Santana were playing together. Breezin'. Written by Bobby Womack, I've linked the Gabor Szabo version in the description. Well, I guess I don't really have any hard and fast rules about exactly how these episodes are put together, except that we have a word of the day, a historical event, 2 or 3 or 4, a birthday if it fits, a song and a quote. And I usually do them in order from top to bottom, like a list, front to back. But this episode came together in a little bit different order. I think it all fits, though. That said, as I was thinking about a quote for today, this one popped into my head. It's one I read many years ago and was sufficiently impressed that I memorized it right away, although I did look it up today to make sure I got it right. And it goes a little something like this. Here lies a toppled god, his fall was not a small one. We did but build his pedestal, a narrow and a tall one. You can find that in Frank Herbert's book, Dune Messiah. Watch out for those pedestals, folks, especially the narrow ones and the tall ones. Alrighty, be good to each other, take care, and I'll see you next time. Make sure it says what I need it to say. Oh, but not like that. To elevate in position. Okay, hold on. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.